Why'd you start a podcast?
It's not. I mean, it's just. I was like, oh, I could just like make my own
Hell yeah.
for fun. There's like so many interesting people to like interview, and I feel like there's not many security content on YouTube. It's like so limited, and it's like why not get more? You know.
Um, True. But YouTube has a tendency to take down security content, so I recommend cross-posting this to Pornhub. Live, laugh, love. I
Okay,
just pulled
so
out like 5 eyelashes.
good. Happy for you. Okay, let me start. Let me start. Okay. Security people are insufferable and annoying to work with. At least that's the opinion of many software engineers I've spoken to. And then as a security engineer, I realized I'm in a bubble where I go to security conferences and talk to other security people, and we just talk about how security is supposed to be, but we don't really talk enough with like actual software engineers. So today we're gonna talk to software engineers that also hangs out in security circles. Also, a prominent shitposter and internet troll, Ali Diamond, ending with Ali. Hello.
Hello. You locally sourced a software engineer, real software engineer behind it come 5 cents a ticket. Come watch her do little tricks and watch her write code. Oh, you could just do that for free on my Twitch. Damn.
Yeah, so you do that. You write code. You Twitch stream things, including like what is CI/CD. That was a good one.
Yes, I have taken it upon myself to realize that I know nothing about anything because I am very developmentally stunted in my software engineering journey. And so I decided it is time for me to take control of my learning and learn more about terms that I've heard but never actually really knew what they were. And so started doing these like 1 hour challenges to just be like, okay, without AI, how much can I learn? And like really lock in about it. I'm filming one in 12 hours.
Hell yeah, always making stuff.
A, B,
So
C, always
be
be
creating.
contenting.
Yeah. So as a lifelong learner, and
Am
software
I?
engineer, you are now. So you've worked with security people at your companies,
Have
and I
I?
wanted yes, you have. Yes, you have. And you've also hung out with a lot of us, at many different places and conferences, and I wanted to get your perspective on why we're so annoying to work with.
Well, the reality is that you're not. Surprise plot twist is that security people are not annoying to work with. It's the software engineers that are annoying to work with because so many reasons, and I can get into that, but I think that there's just a huge disjoint in communication of how and what software engineers are responsible for and can and can't do, and how it's communicated to security people, or how it's communicated from security people to software engineers, and then how software engineers feel like once it goes to production, it's not their problem anymore.
Hmm.
So I think that it's always an interesting question because I am a security minded, anxious girly pop who happens to write software. But I've just seen so many software engineers just make bad decisions. And it just really stuns me how unaware of their existence they are in space because no one thinks they're a target until they're a target. And security people have to think you're a target regardless. Those who are not thinking of being targets are the most likely to get targeted.
Hmm.
So it's just been a very interesting exploration because, as I said, I hang out with a lot of cybersecurity people because the ego is low. The people there like love educating. They generally know so much more about how the internet works than
The
software
the ego
engineers.
is low.
the cybersecurity people I hang out with are all very kind
The
people.
ones you hang out with, yeah, you have nice people in the community, but that's not
Yeah.
super representative of the whole community.
I mean, every community I've gone into in regards to cyber, every person has been some of the kindest people, and I'm just like, "Hey, I don't know this thing." And they're like, "Oh my god, get me the blackboard. We're sitting down and we're going through an entire lecture right now, and I will
Mhm.
walk you through, hold your hand, and teach you how to do this." If I did that to to a software engineer, like a random software engineer on the street, they'd be like, "Go to Code Academy, figure it out. You have AI now, go use it." But every cybersecurity person, like, I feel like I am more likely to be able to pluck a cybersecurity person off the street and ask them a question that I don't know and get a fabulous answer that they actually care about talking about versus plucking a regular software engineer off the street and getting an answer and then just instead of them just being like, "Go just Google it, figure it out."
Mm.
So I just think I've personally have seen there to be a really big disjoint in the way that cybersecurity people communicate rules, regulations, and opinions to software engineers that either get lost in translation or software engineers just don't ask them and realize that they're there to ask them questions.
Right. So that I think is very important. So in your different jobs as a software engineer, how many times have you interacted with security people or like, had to like go and talk to them about things?
Well, now where I work in like a very cyber oriented company. So I made myself friends with the security people. I'm the
Right.
only one on the software team who actively engages with the cybersecurity people on a
Mm.
very regular basis,
Right.
like sending them links and sending them jokes and stuff. Because obviously, I know their industry and we have a lot of mutual friends. But at my last company where I was a full time software engineer, even when I was a developer advocate, I never talked to the cyber people. Like, there are people in the cyber community who I am good friends with, who, when I worked at big company, like, not, FANG, but big company with a lot of people, they were there at the same time as me, and I just never knew they were there. And I was, like, talking about cybersecurity content at big companies. So, like, I was like, "Why am I not interacting with this team, like, at least to, like, be, like, involved with them in any capacity?" But it just seems like there's so many, like, papers and documents and hoops to jump through to just communicate and get answers, and so many rules and regulations that software engineers are just gonna go, scroll, click, next.
Hmm. Right.
Just
Right.
not they don't absorb it.
Yeah, and the security people themselves, like they would never like reach out to you and be like, "Hey, like what are you working on?"
Absolutely not. Never. I literally remember one time at my last company, I was just like, "Hey, what's the process for adding new packages?" And he was just like, "Oh, just install it." And I'm like, "We're a finance company. What do you mean? What do you mean?" Like, I was very aware of software supply chain attacks stemming from just from my own personal desktop. Like,
Mhm.
you without even, like, deploying code to production, you can be attacked by a software supply chain attack, and I was very aware of that, and, like, that's something that a lot of companies just don't acknowledge, especially with software engineers who now more than ever we're seeing AI recommend packages, and with a well-poisoned AI LLM, you're more likely to get a poisoned like package, download it. All of a sudden, you have given up credentials, PII, and access to your computer to threat actors and bad actors because they wanted to get access just because you installed the right package.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think there's just a really big disjoint in the education of, like, secure coding practices and secure, like, mindset and just being a developer.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of developers, when they hear the cybersecurity people going off, they're just like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah," like Charlie Brown, like the adults in Charlie Brown, just like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah," and they'll be like, "Ah, they'll deal with it later for me. I don't have to care." I am more likely to say, treat your company laptop like trash, like, because everyone's like, "It's not my laptop, it's a company laptop, throw it around." But miss me on randomly installing packages without proper, like, inspection because I will not be the one responsible for any cybersecurity issues. Hardware is another story,
Mm.
but cyber issues, not going to be me. Anyways, I'm super curious to hear from you. With your experience working in security, what has your work with software engineers been like? How often do you reach out to software engineers?
um,
How often are you making policies and regulations around what software engineers can and can't do?
yeah, I mean, quite often, but it's not. I never intended to be around what they can and can't do. I think ideally, I would understand your own org and responsibilities and see like, okay, like what is Ali working on and how is she working on it? And then ideally it's like, well, how can I make Ali's life easier while fulfilling like the list of security controls we want to add? Like ideally it's combining both, like maybe like automating things for you, or just making your own workflows be pleasant enough to use, while in the background the most pleasant workflows for you are also the most secure. And that's how I feel my job is supposed to be. And to be able to do that, I'm supposed to talk to you to really understand what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes it's going to be like repeatable work, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes like, oh, I have this one-off project where I just want to try this and this and this, and I'm supposed to like understand that and give you a way to do that, rather than be like, well, no, you have to like file a ticket here, and we're gonna ship you a new laptop, and like then that's too annoying, and because then you're gonna be like, well, now I never want to talk to you ever again, and I'm just gonna do things without ever telling you.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the most annoying things I've had to do is like at my last company, they were constantly changing like systems and IT stuff. And like they outsourced a lot of IT to different countries. And then I was just like, what's going on? Like now all of a sudden to submit a ticket, there's like all I have to go through this platform and then go to this one and then fill out this special type of form and this special type of ticket. There was no documentation around anything. I never knew where anything
Hmm.
was. Or like if I needed help, like we were segmented into 2 different chat platforms because half the company didn't wanna use one chat platform and the other half didn't. I was like, "Why? Like, this is a tech-enabled company, like, stop using Microsoft Teams." Like,
So number one advice for security people is like, don't make me install Microsoft Teams to talk to you.
oh my god, yeah. Yeah. Don't make me install Microsoft. Like, whatever platform the developers are on, you need to go to them. Don't go to, like don't make them come to you because 'cause they're not gonna come to you. I know that there's gonna be a lot of, like, people that are DMing you, but, like, reduce the barrier to entry to getting things done as low as possible. Now with things like AI, if you just, like, have a generic ticketing system and then AI can decide if it's like a security ticket or an IT ticket or a hardware ticket. Like that would be great. Just make like one ticket system and then have it automatically go from like A to B to C to D, whatever sub like group it needs to go to would be game changer for a lot of software engineers. Um Also software engineers like want to move fast because generally when it comes to the work that's being done at the company, there's a lot of pressure at software engineers to deliver these things fast at a high risk. Anyways, yeah, reduce the barrier to entry to getting software engineers' questions answered
Mm.
as fast as possible.
Ooh, underground. You're starting to convey the idea that like actually security people are fun, and actually it's the software engineers that are insufferable.
Yes. Have you seen Linus Torvald? Like, there are some very bad actors, but one of the reasons that the security industry is able to survive in the way that it does is because everyone's willingness to share things, even if you are a literal piece of shit in the industry, like, no one likes you, there are still people that are working with you because you have intel, they have intel, you need to, like, figure things out, and intel sharing is the backbone of the cybersecurity industry. That's how anything gets done. Like software and coding, everything could be closed sourced and everything would be fine. No one would care. If GitHub got blasted off the planet, we would rebuild the libraries and everything would be fine. But you can't do that for cybersecurity. So inherently, yes, when you meet a cybersecurity person, they're going to be like, who sent you? And then you gain their trust. And that's when you steal their wallet. I can name 3 people I think in cybersecurity that would absolutely 100% give up company secrets for intercourse. Like, you are being attacked by cyber people. You are being judged by cyber people. You are being critiqued. Your code is being monitored and tracked and traced by your cyber teams, your IT teams, your security teams. These are the people that if you ever have any problems, these are the people that you want to be BFFs with so that they could be like, oh yeah, girl, I got you. I got 20 people on lock who can help us out here. It's no big deal. If you screw up, it's not your manager you want to be going to be like, my computer's broken. It's going to be your friend in IT and be like, bro, I got cooked. And they'll be like, yeah, I figured it out last week. Why didn't you come sooner? And so, or instead of being like, yeah, I've already reported you to HR. This is actually your last day here. Please turn in your laptop and get the fuck out. If you want to use a new AI tool, all you have to do is DM IT and be like, hey, I really want to check out this AI tool. Can I start provisioning and using it? Because the second you do that without your company permission, you are now leaking company PII and you are the problem. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions as a software engineer. If you refuse to ask questions, you're the vulnerability. I'm just going to say, if as a software engineer, you're afraid to ask questions to your IT team, you're the vulnerability. Don't use things that aren't provisioned. Don't, oh my God. And let's just be real. The number of software engineers who are like, company gave me laptop. This is mine now. I'm going to do everything on it. Everything on it. Are you sure about that one? Do you want to be doing that?
Yeah, we've seen some liberal use of corporate resources.
Liberal use of corporate resources at 12 p.m. on a Monday night from bed? Honey, they know. And you will get IT sending you an email to stop. I remember I was having a conversation with my dad about this, and he was like, they know what you're doing on your computer? I'm like, yes! Why wouldn't they? Why are people so stunned? There are tools out there. People don't realize that there are tools out there that makes your computer and every action you take on your computer queryable like a SQL query. That is not your computer. Everything you put on there can be considered company PII. That is now company property. That's why I'll never sign into my Twitter account on my company computer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, DLP tools, we install them to monitor. I mean, the idea is if you're exfiltrating company secrets, I'm supposed to know if you're emailed yourself into your Gmail secrets.
Yeah, they're just gonna see me browsing SoundCloud for an hour. I remember last week for ThreatWire, I had to explain to people because some guy was like, you need to acknowledge that Google spies on their employees. And I'm like, he was using a company laptop to exfiltrate secrets. For context, there was this guy who exfiltrated 2,000 documents, all revolving around Google's supercomputer and superintelligence and the infrastructure and information about the chips and the sequence and the programming around the chips and things like that. He downloaded them straight from Google to his Google Drive and then went to China, started a company, was a founder of a company, but still all working at Google, and then was like, hey guys, I'm going to make China the leader in supercomputing, and it's going to be better than Google's. It's because you took it from Google, and they were like, people in the Threatwire comments were like, "Why aren't you acknowledging that Google was spying on this dude?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, he did a public presentation about it. He was doing it openly. He actively transferred documents from Google Drive to his own personal account. They can see that sort of stuff. And like, it's Google. Why wouldn't they be tracking it? Also, dude, you went to China during a work week and just had your homie, like, tapping you in. Were you opening your laptop from China? Do you think that they couldn't see that? Come on. Even I know that. It, like, stuns me that people don't realize, like, software engineers don't realize just how much IT can IT and cyber can actually see. I'm gonna make a TikTok short about it soon. I've been super, super busy, honestly. I'm tired. You're, like, so lucky you only work, what, 1.5 job?
You do have like 4 jobs, yeah. Yeah,
I'm
that's
so
true.
tired. I'm taking on more. Now
Uh,
everyone on Twitter's like, taste is the new thing, and I'm like, I've been wanting to revive my, like, styling consultancy for, software engineers.
nice. Wait, wait, actually tell us about that.
Oh, yeah, I have this thing called Build a SWE, which is, swag as a service.
Wait, that's actually so cool.
I know. And so I basically take incompetent software engineers respectfully, people who like realize and acknowledge they're like, I don't know how to dress myself. I wear the same pair of ratty gym sneakers everywhere I go, one pair of jeans, one t-shirt. That's a hackathon t-shirt from 2020 that I got as a junior in college. And my mom stopped shopping for me. So now I only use like I don't know how to dress myself. Swag as a service. And, like, it's not hard to, like, fake taste if you know how to dress, and in the reality of things, especially where, I'm located, which is New York City, how you carry yourself and how you look does go a really long way. And even in San Francisco, like, you can be like, knowing how to at least put an outfit together is important, and knowing how to be presenting is important. You don't have to do, like, a suit and tie at every meeting, but, like, I don't know, maybe don't wear your 10-year-old pair of gym sneakers that you used to wear playing tennis and have holes in it. But again, there's no problem with this if that is the way that you choose to live. But if you don't want to live that way and you want to change, I'm here for you. And I teach people how to like pair outfits together and how to dress themselves. And I take them shopping and I'm like, how do you feel? And like, I want to say that like respectfully, I low key specialize in on the spectrum people because that's just the way I communicate better with them. And I do try to take into account a lot of people's like special needs or interests and the way that they like to present themselves and how they want to feel in their clothes. Um, and so, like, I really do try to take that into account because it's usually, like, people who aren't necessarily a lot of people who want these sorts of things don't really know how to start because it's very overwhelming because it's outside so deeply outside of their comfort zone. It's a sensory overloading for them when they go to these places. They just want someone to take them somewhere and tell them how to do it. Like, if you are looking for this change in your life, I'm here for you. If you're not, sometimes I will be able to tell that you don't own kitchen towels, and that's fine. I'll just know not to go to your house, and that's fine too. If I have to bake anything, I'll bring my own supplies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wait, have you started that yet as a business or?
It's out there. It's like
Uh,
buildaswe.nyc is the website.
wait, are you serious?
Yeah, buildaswe.nyc. Um, it's there. I need to revive it. I need to, like, start tweeting about fashion.
Glow ups for tech people.
Yeah, like glow up as a service, swag as a service.
Nice.
I'm really good at marketing myself, let me tell you. So good. Just kidding. I don't know how to market myself at all.
No, you're doing great. To
I don't
You're probably more recognized by security people than like normal software engineers because of your content, or is that not true?
Yeah, yeah. I would love to, like, step into more of the software side of things, but I'm just not a good software engineer. Like, genuinely. Like, I would love to be a good software engineer, I'm just, like, deeply incompetent.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
You haven't seen my
You're
code.
fully capable.
Someone once was like, "Hey, what does bad code look like?" And I said, "Anything I write. Anything I write."
Have you been using AI tools like Claude to write?
Yes, I have a little bit here and there, and I know that I, like, drew out some weird Twitter replies. I'm in the process of writing, like, a very scathing article about AI and AI coding and, the security, like, why we need to be more cautious around AI coding and the security issues and, like, how to do things. Um, and there's a lot of articles I found. I'm like I've been gathering articles for, like, years now about this concept, and I'm very excited to, eventually write it. I've I work too many jobs, and I think I'm taking on, like, 2 more now. So, if anyone wants to, like, pay me money to just exist, that would be really nice.
To just exist.
Yeah.
have
That's
you
all
have
I
you
can
been
do.
like have you been like enjoying like using AI tools for coding?
Yes, I have because it helps lower my frustration,
Mm.
and my it helps increase my frustration tolerance, and this is, like, now we're people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is frustration tolerance?" Like, my frustration tolerance is really low for myself because I have other, like, personal issues that I deal with, like self-esteem issues. And so when I don't get something, I get very frustrated with myself very fast and I give up really easily. So AI allows me to ask these like really niche questions of when I get stuck in like thought loops or thought patterns or like learning about things. And I can go to AI and ask it questions about certain tools or how things are done. And it allows me to move faster through and like lower my and like increase my frustration threshold for learning things and understanding decisions instead of having to read 30 to 40 SEO optimized over verbose blog posts, I can now ask AI what I need to know and then get that answer, compare it with actual blog posts that are out there, see how I understand it, get some terms that I didn't know before, and then move from that.
Mm. So overall, it's actually helpful.
It has been actually helpful, but I will
Pleasant to
never
use.
let AI truly write a line of code for me.
Hmm. Well, oh,
I will
you don't let it actually write the code?
I'll, like, let it write the code, but I'll review it, and
Okay,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
say write the code, it's like, "Write the SQL query for me." Like,
Mm,
"What's the API call of how to do this?" Like, "Oh, how do I make X, Y, and Z happen using this variable, and this function?"
mm,
But I won't just be like, "Make a function that does X, Y, and Z." I'll never
mhm.
do that.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
actually only, like, vibe coded 1 app, and I still haven't run it yet.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I was futzing around on my work computer, so it's still my work computer, and they know I, like, told the CTO, I was like, "Oh, I was just, like, futzing around with AI today," like he's like, "What are your thoughts on AI?" I was like, "Well, I was, like, futzing around, like, I haven't actually vibe coded anything, so I tried to do some vibe coding today, but, like, I don't even know if it runs," you know?
I let it take the wheel. Just, like, do anything you want.
Yeah, you make a lot of projects with vibe coding, but
The
you're also a
small
security
yeah.
person, so you know how to make it not drain your bank account. Anyways, y'all, like there is like a big barrier to entry, but I think that it's just more or not barrier to entry. I just think there's a big gap that happens in in between all different organizations. No one really wants to reach out because everyone's being pressured to go so fast to do things, try to keep up that like tell me the last time you talked to a sales engineer. What are some of the biggest vulnerabilities that are like or like um what are the biggest issues that you're having at your company right now that's like a that maybe security can like implement better like regulations around and things like that like how can security help sales engineers like how often do you talk to those people like there's a huge
No, it's
gap
true.
just in general between every single organization until you get to the higher level but then once you're at that highest level you're not really on the ground fighting the like termites. I don't know. I forgot words. Anyways, you're not really on the ground fighting the termites and, like, when you're like a CTO, a CFO, like chief sales officer, you're not fighting the termites. So you only get like a game of really weird telephone where you just kind of get like the concepts of things. I need to do more podcasts. Like, I'm very clippable.
Yeah. Just like there's a few clips that are just so good.
I know I
You
need
are
to
very
do more.
clippable, yeah.
I need to do more podcasts. I really want to do more podcasts.
Or
I just
if
don't know
someone
how.
you need someone to like it's like you need someone to like go through the things you say and clip them.
I know, I need a Twitch stream, like a clip it, or someone to clip my
Yeah.
Twitch streams. Sorry, I'm in $15,000 of credit card fraud right now. I have a 1099 from Mr. Beast. Anyways, you want to close out the episode? Stay humble, and I like to formally apologize for every software engineer that you have to fight in the near future. Send me their names.